7 Mile Sun, based out of Harris, Saskatchewan. Joanne, Kimberly, and Kevin are the three main members. We have Kimberly and Kevin joining us today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we're excited to chat with you today.
Now, the three of you, when you're all together, you make great use of the space afforded to you with having three instruments. Instead of going for a constant wall of sound, you use dynamics and vocal harmonies to give your songs a wealth of depth. When you're in the recording studio, how hard is it to fight the urge to add more and more layers, even though technically live you couldn't do it?
We do add some layers on the guitars. We usually put 2 guitar tracks down for the rhythm, and especially during the choruses, just to beef it up a little bit. We try not to get too crazy because we do want to be able to replicate it super accurately on stage. But I don't think it's to the point where it's even noticeable to most people. You know, like when you're on a live show, everything's so much different than listening to the studio recording, and you expect it to be less polished. So we definitely layer guitars on the tracks, but we don't get carried away with it.
And so have you ever had like urges to add a fourth member to the group then?
Not really.
No, not really. Actually, we make it work with what we have, and the three of us work so well together that we really haven't thought much about it or been urged to do so. Not at this point.
Like going to 3 members was actually a step for us because Kim and I were a duo for quite a few years. So just adding a third member was like, whoa, this is way nicer.
Yeah.
It gave me a lot more freedom on my instrument instead of trying to play, fill the whole thing. And I think it just made things a little smoother and
gave us a bigger sound. Yeah.
So when you added Joanne, then were you actively looking for a third member, or did you just kind of stumble across wanting to play together?
Well, we've known Joanne forever, and Kimberly played in a band with Joanne previously, like when she was in high school.
Yeah, years ago.
And then we just had Joanne come jam with us a couple times, and then we're like, well, this is pretty cool. Do you want to join the band?
Yeah, we were starting to get bigger shows where we were playing to a larger audience, playing on bigger stages, wanting that bigger sound. And so we had asked her to kind of play a couple of those bigger shows with us. I think in the back of our minds, hoping that she'd agree to just play full time with us. And we lucked out that she did. So I don't know if she had much of a choice, but she just joined our band.
That's awesome. Okay, we have a question from a fan. Was there any consideration to using the metric conversion of your name?
We joked about it. Yeah, no, so not any serious conversations about it, but we've joked about it a lot.
And where does the name come from?
You go ahead.
So 7 Mile Sun originated because our farm where Kevin and I grew up, where our parents reside, is 7 miles from the closest town. So that's where we grew up. That's where we were heavily influenced by our music from our parents. Grew up on a lot of classic rock. It's where we started playing our instruments, and that's still our jam space to this day. So it's pretty decked out. We got records all over the walls, posters of all of our biggest shows, and the sun parts come from Saskatchewan, and living in Saskatchewan and being proud to be from here and living on the prairies. The sunsets here are pretty incredible. And whenever you're leaving band practice from our parents' farm there, you always can catch some pretty sweet sunsets. So we kind of made it come together and have some meaning to it. And we like the sound of it. And yeah, kind of describes our roots a bit.
Now, last year you released the Light in the Dark EP. Was that made at Skull Creek Studios?
Yep, entirely.
What was it like working with them? Because I've interviewed a few artists that have recorded with Skull Creek, and what was that process like?
It's fantastic. It was our first real professional studio experience, and we just lucked out. We kind of just got some quotes from a few different studios and sent some emails around, and I think it was Aspen we were corresponding with.
Yep.
And just got a good feel from him. He sounded like he was a nice guy and he knew what he was doing, so we thought we'd give it a try. And it was just luck of the draw. We picked what I think is one of the better studios in Saskatchewan, or possibly the country. I don't know. Aspen's so great to work with. I can't say enough about him.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Now, when you were going to record an EP, were you still going in with the same mindset as you would, say, recording a full-length album, like wanting it to flow in the same way?
It kind of just morphed into an EP. We went in with a couple of songs we wanted to put down, and then we enjoyed working with Aspen so much, and we'd been sitting on a fair bit of material for quite a long time. we've been writing, and I do most of the songwriting. I've been writing forever, so I've got a huge bank of songs that are still waiting to be, laid out and put out. So we're just like, well, let's keep going, and then we decided that a 6-song EP would be the best way to kick things off.
So with Triggerman, then, is that just a single, or is that going to be part of an album at some point?
I think it'll end up being part of our next album. I'm still an album guy. I like albums. Like I still buy albums, and I think that's the coolest way to release music is as a group of songs together. It gives you a good feel for the band. But singles are kind of the way things are going now. So I like the combination of putting out a few singles and then dropping an album.
Now tell me about Triggerman a little bit.
Well, we've had that song for a few years, and we've been
playing it live
for a long time, probably 3 years, maybe even.
Yeah,
Close to 3 years.
A little different sounding, I guess.
Yeah, we used to open it. We've opened a lot of our shows with that because you know how the song starts off and then it's just like, yeah. So it's been a great way to like grab the audience's attention right off the bat. Like if you weren't listening before, you're listening now is kind of the way that we were
ramped up the energy.
We were thinking so yeah. Then we decided that we'd record it because it was a kind of a crowd favorite, and it's definitely like our bluesiest track so far. And we're a real blues based band. My playing is all based on blues progressions, and that's my bread and butter kind of thing. So and then we took Triggerman into the studio, and we didn't alter it a ton. The progression stayed the same. The chords all stayed the same. We just changed like the melody in that riff, that down, 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 that used to be just part of the solo. And Aspen was like, that's a really great hook. So that's how we incorporated it into the song. And then I think it was Aspen's idea to add the vocals along with the guitar in that.
Yeah.
And it came out really good. We love that track.
Yeah.
So how much input did he have on your songs during the recording of the EP?
I guess a fair bit when it came to helping structure some of them, because we were really good at coming up with the bass for the songs, and most of the lyrics are ours, but Aspen gave us this. He really expanded our minds when it came to thinking outside the box and making sure the songs continue to be interesting as the song progresses. Instead of having the chorus the same thing 3 times, the second one will be a little different than the third one, and we try and make it huge and add in something little just to keep that ear interested.
So does that change the way that you've played the songs live now?
I mean, yeah, like we do tend to, if we've kind of gone in with Aspen with one of our songs and done the structuring with him to kind of give it its biggest potential, then we do tend to still take that version of the song or the newest, best version of it with us to the stage and now perform it that way too. I think for all the songs that we've worked with him on, yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you guys have planned for summer of 2022?
So far, we just have one show booked, and that's the Tralapa Music Festival. We're headlining Friday night. I think we're on at 10 o'clock. And we've played that festival quite a few times now, and we've always wanted to be the headlining slot, and now we've finally got it. So, so that's going to be fun. We love playing there. There's a great organization there. Yeah. And then we've just been chatting about a couple other shows. We've had some inquiries. We'd like to maybe do a collaboration show with another big rock band in Saskatoon in the summer. So we're going to work on that, but that's kind of it so far. Maybe a little more studio time. Yeah,
we'll be sharing about it anyways. So our fans can stay tuned.
How fun. Well, we're going to be playing quite a few of your songs, or at least adding them to our library. The last thing I just want to ask you about is Run Me Down. Just give me just a little insights on what that song has going on.
That's one of my favorite songs I've ever written. I was really proud of that song. I wrote it on the drive up to the lake the one day. Just voice to text into my phone. I wrote the whole thing in probably 20 minutes. It just came. And sometimes when it goes that way, I find that's when the songs come the best. It just kept coming. It's about my experience in school when I was young. Kind of always felt like I got in a lot of trouble, and I felt like it was more because I was bored than actually a bad kid.
Mhm.
So part of the song is I ain't as bad as you think I am. And that's kind of just how I felt. And then I felt like maybe I was misunderstood more than anything. So when that song came out, that's what we got. And I'm really proud of that one. We all are. It's a good one. Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me here today, and I really do look forward to playing your music on Rock 106. I think it's going to really add to our library.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And we look forward to hearing it on there as well. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. The power of radio is real, and we're big believers. So thank you guys for doing it. It's huge for us.